Hi, Kerry here, host of Best of Us Investors. I do most of my videos about investing in the stock market, playing the long game. Last week, I spent 2 days putting the numbers together for my CPA for my tax return for last year. And I say on this channel that I have 3 objectives for you. 1 is to make better investment decisions. 2 is to learn the tax codes so that you keep more of what you make. And number 3 is to create family wealth. And they all tie in together, but let's focus on number 2 today, on how to keep more of what you make. I'm 77 years old. I still work for a living. Last year, my generated income was just shy of $500,000. So I am exposed to taxes. I have to take required minimum distributions. That pushes me over the $500,000. So I spend some time figuring out how to create another flow of income, and that is minimizing my taxes. Think about that. If I can avoid paying $50,000 in taxes to the government, is that in fact another cash flow income? Yeah. It's what it is actually a reversal of a cash flow outgo. So that's what I want to talk to you in this video today, is to how I use the tax code to create another form of income. And then I want to expose you to something, a new element of tax avoidance that I have just found that I want to share with you. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Taxes. I neglected to say this is not financial advice, and I seriously, if you're going down this road, you need to gain the support of a CPA. Okay, it all starts with you got to have a side gig, and my side gig is multiple. I would say I have built, at this point, a media company. The media company is based upon this YouTube channel. From there, I do some affiliate marketing. I have written 4 books. I promote my books on my YouTube channel and on my website, and so I get royalties. I have sponsors who sponsor my videos. I have multiple sources of income. I also hold a real estate license, and I make money off of real estate. So that's how I generated somewhere in the close to $500,000 last year. I run that through my LLC. If you're going to have a side gig, you got to have an LLC. An LLC is a limited liability corporation, which basically protects me from lawsuits, but it also gives me another tax entity through which I gain some benefits. And thus, I am able to create what is called a solo 401k. If you work for a major employer, you have a 401k. And in that 401k, your employer is able to contribute to your 401k, and you're able to contribute to your 401k. I have the same situation in my 401k. I work for Best of Us LLC. My name is Kerry Grinkmeyer. I am the employee. Best of Us LLC is the employer. Between the two of us, we are able to put $58,000 a year into my 401k. Now, Best of Us employs another person, just happens to be my wife, Nita. So between Nita and I, we can put, what is that, 59,000 times 2, 116,000. We can take out of our income category and move over into our 401k and thus not report it as income. Okay, if I'm in the effective 25% tax bracket, that's going to save me $14,500 in taxes. It will save Nita $14,500 in taxes. So we save in taxes, if we're in the 25% tax bracket, roughly $29,000 in taxes. That, to me, is another income stream. Now, I will grant you, eventually taxes have to be paid on that money, but it will increase my my required minimum distribution, but each year, I will continue to fund that 401k and save those taxes. Now, my heirs will have to deal with the taxes, but again, there are more of them than there is of me. So therefore, they may be able to push that tax rate down. Plus, they get the benefit of any good investments that I've made that have grown in income tax free until they take them out, and capital gains tax free inside the IRA. So that's how I create another form of income. Again, if you understand the concept, take it to your CPA. But first, you've got to have the side gig. Okay, so that's where I am today. And there are some particulars that you have to understand, and just Google it. Google contributions to a solo 401k, and it's spelled out all right there, such as the employer is allowed to put up to $25,000 of the employee's 25% of the employee's contribution, and the employee is able to put in $19,500 unless they're over 60 years of age, which they then can put an additional $6,500, which brings the employee contribution up to $26,000, the employer contribution up to $32,000, and that gives you the $58,000. So that's that. Then I got to thinking, I need to find another way. And what I did was I Googled, and I thought I remembered, I can make a contribution to my 401k, my $58,000, plus I can make a contribution to an IRA. And that at this point is, if you're under, I think it's 60, it's $6,000. And no, it's under 50, $6,000, and over 50, $7,000 a year. Well, between Nita and I, that would make $14,000 that I could also add into there. And I thought, well, that's just kind of throwing more flame on the fire. And then I found a company by the name of iTrust Capital. And what iTrust Capital does is gives me the ability to contribute that IRA into cryptocurrency, a cryptocurrency IRA. And then what I kind of like the idea is I can make it not a traditional IRA, but a Roth IRA. And now I can go into this Roth IRA and I can invest in Bitcoin. Or, as I'll show you, I can invest in all kinds of cryptocurrencies. And if I wanted to actually actively trade it, I could actively trade that cryptocurrency inside this iTrust IRA and not pay any capital gains, short-term or long-term. So if I want to be an active trader, I could actively trade cryptocurrencies, which are extremely volatile, which makes it a very good trading vehicle. And all I would have to pay is a 1% transaction fee. What I want to do is share this with you. What this is, one of the commitments I've made to my tribe, those are the people who follow me, is I'm going to share the tools that I use to make good investment and tax decisions. I just did that by explaining to you, as best I can, a solo 401k and how you can reduce your taxes. Now I want to explain to you the iTrust cryptocurrency IRA. I can't do this in my IRA at Schwab or in my IRA at E-Trade. but I can do it at iTrust. Let me show you what I found. Okay, this is iTrust Capital's website, itrustcapital.com. And again, it's purely for investing in cryptocurrencies inside an IRA. They currently, my research shows, that they currently have about $4.5 billion under management. And I want to familiarize you with this. What really got me interested in this whole concept was an article I read recently about Peter Thiel, who 20 years ago invested in a Roth IRA, $2,000, and actively traded within that Roth IRA over 20 years and turned it into $5 billion. And I thought, that's an interesting concept. He did some good trading. He had to have been trading in a very volatile market, and I got to thinking, where might I or you be able to duplicate what Peter did? And I think it's in cryptocurrency, particularly if you understand a Roth IRA, unlike a traditional IRA, you don't get to deduct. Peter didn't get to deduct the $2,000 he put in as a tax deduction. He paid taxes on that $2,000, but any future growth that he had inside that Roth IRA, he paid no capital gains, and he took it out tax-free. So he has, what was it, $5 billion less the $2,000 that he can take out tax-free. So this stimulated some interest. And so when I became aware of this, I took a look at it. And to give you some idea, what they do is they give you the ability to buy and sell cryptocurrencies inside an app 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, at a low cost. And their cost is, they don't charge you a monthly fee or any setup fees, but they do charge you a 1% transaction fee. So if you're actively trading, you're going to pay 1%. So on each trade, you need to make over 1%, or it's a losing proposition. Now, then the next question I had is, what is the security? Well, it looks like they're protected under the Coinbase security. And there you have $320 million worth of insurance. Now, what I don't know, and I need to find out, is that $320 million for everything that's in there, or is that for me? Is my account insured for up to $320 million? And then you have here another protected by Fireblock, and they have $30 million. Is that for me, or is that for the whole account? So you and I need to do some, if we need to go this route or look into it, we need to figure that out. It does have a disclosure here that it is not part of the Federal Deposit Insurance, the FDIC Insurance Protection Program. So that's not part of it. Then what I wanted to know was, it says it has multiple offerings. Now, this wouldn't appeal to me because I'm not actively involved in trading cryptocurrencies. I do own some Bitcoin, so I see it is available there. And I understand Bitcoin. I've done some research, but I don't really know what these others are. But if I chose to make this a specialty for myself, I would learn what these others are. And if, in fact, I wanted to actually day trade them or swing trade them, I would become knowledgeable. And if you have that knowledge and you say to yourself, this might be a perfect way for me to facilitate what Peter did, maybe I can duplicate it. In my situation, because I'm over 60 years old, I have the ability to put $7,000 if I was I think it's over 50. If I was under 50, I could only put $6,000 for myself and $6,000 for Nita, and I could trade it. Now, the other options, let's look at how it works. So how it works is I just go in and create a online IRA application to get started, and then I have 3 ways to fund my IRA. And a video here explains it, but it's really quite simple. Contributions for 2022, 6,000, yes, under 50, 7,000 over 50, and then I can convert it into a Roth IRA, and here it gives you the guidelines for a single person. You have to have income under 120 for a married person under 198, and then it goes up for the 2022. So in my situation, if I want to contribute to this, I have to get my married adjusted gross income under $204,000. I believe I can do that. Again, I can do it because I'm making about $116,000 contribution to my solo 401k, which brings down my adjusted gross income under the $2,000, even though I've made close to $500,000. So, and then I have expenses, and you understand the taxes. So the other thing that I like about this is I can make cash contributions, which I will do, and then I can transfer other IRAs over. So what is that saying? Okay. Nita and I both have an IRA in E-Trade. So what I suspect I would have to do, I would have to sell the assets inside of E-Trade and turn it to cash, and then do a transfer from E-Trade to iTrust Capital, that cash, and then once it gets over into iTrust Capital, I could then convert that cash into whatever cryptocurrency, and I would pay that 1% fee. Now, how about rollovers? Yes, if I have in my Schwab account where I have my 401k, or in your case where you have a 401k with your employer and you're retiring and you want to roll part of it into a traditional IRA and you want to roll part of it into a crypto IRA, you could roll that over. So this could be a way that either a transfer or a rollover that I could put additional funds above and beyond my annual contribution to put me in a position, if I wanted to become a trader and if I wanted to convert it into a Roth IRA, so I could pull a Peter Thiel. Let's just call that a Peter Thiel. He put 2,000 in, actively traded it in a Roth. 20 years later, he has $5 billion. That's what this appeals to me. That's the potential. Again, this is a tool. This is a tool that you need to put in your toolbox so that you can make better investment decisions, so that you can be smarter than the other guy who's trying to make money in the stock market. You have a tool that they don't have. Again, I would encourage you to become very knowledgeable of this, and again, come to the website. It is itrustcapital.com. You'll find a link to it, and it's an affiliate link, and they'll offer you some discounts depending on how you fund. And but take a look at this. Okay, that's iTrust. There's a link to it in the description. You get some sort of a discount when you go there. And I want you do this is not financial advice. This is building awareness, particularly if you want to get active in trading cryptocurrencies and avoiding short-term capital gains. I think this is a fabulous tool. And again, I would encourage you to look at it as a Roth IRA. Now, as I said, you can fund it just by cash like I am, or you can roll over an existing IRA. You're going to have to convert that rollover into cash before it goes over to iTrust. and then then you can have a nest egg, which you might be which you might want to then actively trade. Or if you want to roll over your 401k when you retire into, I wouldn't encourage you to do it all, but look at this as a tool. Look at this as a tool that I've brought to you that will broaden your horizons and maybe help you make better investment decisions. Because again, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to sell you anything, and I'm not trying to make you go somewhere you don't want to go. So we'll talk about this again in the future.